Collaboration is making sure that people get a chance to enjoy that wonderful work. Joining us now on the wonderful advent of Zoom. It's not just for COVID anymore. It's the no, it is not. Joining us on Zoom. Oh, and apparently this is still playing. Hold on, I have to cut y'all off. I don't want people to. Oh, wait a minute, Mario. Come on, dude. What are you doing? This is what happens when you're sick and you have a cold. Here we go. Joining us now, um, on the wonderful Zoom is the actress and wonderful human being N.K. Gutierrez. She is joining us there and here in studio. Anthony Moseley and Darlene Jackson, DJ Lady D, are joining us as well. What is up, everyone? How's everybody doing?
Good. Happy to be here.
I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that I get a chance to talk to you guys about this wonderful work. I want to start with you, NK, if I can.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine the the emotional place that you have to be as an actor every every day when you're doing this role, and what it requires of you to get to that place where you're depicting this super strong woman who has just gone through a major traumatic event. How do you find the place to be able to relay that energy to that audience?
One, thank you for having me on the show.
Come on,
Yes, I
stop it.
appreciate you. I'm really
No
excited to
doubt.
be here.
Absolutely.
And I'm grateful for you uplifting the work that we're doing over at Collaboraction. And for acknowledging and asking the question about what does it require to be able to hold the truth of who Mamie was and who she continues to be for us and the world. And it is definitely something that I've had to get really curious about who she was as a woman outside of being a mother, and walking alongside her in her grief. And if you've lived long enough, and if you're lucky enough to have loved big, then you know what grief is. Because at some point, because good, bad, right, or wrong, nothing lasts forever. So my life experiences and different grieving that I've gone through have allowed me to inform the character and the real human being that Mamie was, and I worked to truthfully tell the pain that she was in while also valiantly standing up for her son. And it's a process of continuing throughout this process to walk alongside her, because though I put her to rest on Sunday afternoons, when I finish the show, I walk alongside her during the week. So it's just an ebb and a flow of being with her and her humanity in my own.
I don't know if you've ever listened to this show before, but I am the king of not doing things that I'm supposed to do, so I'm doing something right now. So
What are
don't
you
don't.
doing?
It's okay. It's all right. Just gotta
Recording in progress.
to make sure that we hold this for prosperity, for history.
Hmm.
And also, I have to send this to someone else. I'm also curious too. When we're dealing with historical figures, this is not just a historical figure in that often overused cliche. This is the catalyst for a movement in the United States, and there has to be an amount of weight that comes with something like that, with doing that. I think it's commendable that you're able to walk out of that theater and leave Mamie in that. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Leave Mamie in that place where you're able to come back to her and say, okay, let's get it again. We got to do this one more time. Even doing stuff like this, to come back every week, I cannot imagine if I had to do this daily, how my brain would be scrambled eggs trying to make sure that I'm staying creative, staying in the minute, staying in the moment of everything that's going on. Have you ever found yourself getting kind of to that place where you're just lost in that character and you have to like have a tether so that you can pull yourself back out of it?
Oh, 1,000,000%, especially with this role. There is a constant needing to check in with myself. And then also after every single show, where it's like, I hope you're taking care of yourself. To the
Mm.
point where I'm like, y'all making me like, am I taking care of myself?
Right.
But having a care practice and understanding that my bandwidth for other things is just not as long as wide or deep right now. What it has really done is got me present to what is mine to carry and what isn't. And
Mm.
right now, my commitment is to carry Mamie and to walk alongside her. So I've been off of social media that for certain. I dipped my toe in like twice during this run. I'm like, nope, nope, nope,
I was going to
nope,
ask
nope.
you too if you, because I can only imagine that social media, you can't get immersed in what's going on in this world and be able to do that without snapping out on stage about what's going on in the world.
That part right there. And I've already, I'm actively in the social justice movement in every single thing that I do, every facet of my work. So it's such an honor to be able to play this prolific woman who also, even though she was kind of pushed into it, it's not
Hmm.
something that she ever thought would be what her life was, but who of us do, right? Like what we're called to do, you usually or some many times we're kind of pushed
Yeah.
into. So I definitely have to be very careful about what I engage in, especially as an Afro-Latina woman and all the things that are happening. Just as like no matter like it's coming at you from all ways. And so right now, my job is to take care of myself so that I can properly tell the story of Mamie, Miss Mobley, and what she did in this world, and just look after her. So that requires me to look after myself. So there's just a lot of things that it's a no for right now that I'm not doing, and just things that I just won't take on.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. We've got Anthony and Darlene here. I very rarely call Lady D Darlene because she is.
Using her government name to feel funny.
I'm not trying to make her feel funny. That's my people, man. I've known her a long time, a very, 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 very
Very,
long time.
very, very.
You're the CEO of Collaboration or Action, and this is an important thing that you guys are doing, and it's like either Anthony or you, Darlene. We when houses take on things like this, particularly plays of this kind of magnitude, what is the first thought of what you want to accomplish bringing something like this to the stage?
Well, I think that this is an appropriate question for the artistic director, Anthony Moseley, because, really starts with what is the vision of, what does our artistic direction look like? And the types of stories that we want to tell, the power of storytelling is one of our major tenets, right? To connect people, and so I think Anthony is best suited because when the opportunity came our way, we did not shirk the responsibility of telling the story. We actually leaned in. And so let the artistic director tell it. I was actually board chair when it came our way, and so this is really a personal, I think, piece where Anthony's voice would be really exciting because he has all of the inner workings.
Also, someone else I've known for a very long time. He knew me when I had hair. Mr. Moseley, please, sir.
Thank you for having us. And,
No problem.
you know, just for a little context, Marion Brooks of NBC5 found the transcript online. It had been leaked by numerous people and was on like small websites for people that were trying to basically liberate the transcript because it was not filed by the court reporter. And most likely because they didn't want the transcript to be used in the kidnapping charges against Bryant and Milam that were a month later. Because in the trial itself, one of the sheriffs testified that Bryant had told him that they kidnapped Emmett Till, but then they let him go once they realized it wasn't him. So when Marion brought the transcript to Collaboration, and I open up this 400-page document that is, a missing piece of the opening of the civil rights movement, we realized that we had a responsibility to excavate what happened. and make it accessible to audiences. And we did that first in a video, a teleplay that we shot in the old Steve Harvey, Jerry Springer studio at NBC, right next to Judge Mathis, by the way. Judge Mathis' set was there, and then we were here. And we've won some Emmy Awards for that. And then we've staged it as a play, and now in opening our new space, we've really kind of done it proper. And that is every part of the process, including the amazing cast. And but I wouldn't even call it a play. It's more time travel. We're trying to bring a nonfiction thing back to life so people can experience it. And the thought was always, how Mamie's going to actually produce and direct this show. We're just going to let her do it. And now we're in partnership with the Till Institute and part of the Till Life Matters initiative. So we really see ourselves as a living museum piece.
I also am watching, because I have not seen the performance, and I'm going to. But one of the things that I always have liked, particularly, I don't know if this is a thing that's universal to audiences, but in Chicago, it happens a lot in plays and things of that nature, where the actors are part of that audience, like literally in the audience. And in this one, when the person is called to the stand, they get up and they walk out and walk through these people who are now, they're in it, whether they wanted to be in it or not. They're members of the gallery. They're in it. And I think that, to me, that's what makes this really, it hits you over the head with, okay, I'm part of this.
12 audience members get a opt into the jury. So they're in the jury. And when the clerk says, all rise, if the public doesn't rise, he says it again, and we don't proceed until everybody in that room stands. And at that point, they go, "Oh, I'm here."
Yeah, I love it. To me, the mic drop, I could bounce right after that. Like, I've seen the play. I'm good. Everybody here, whether they have the wherewithal or not, they're about to, because they're part of something grand. And NK, to that end, you get to see it, right? Although you're seeing it through Mrs. Till's eyes, you get to see it as just a human being in a world with a lot of weird going on. But you see all these people together in this room, and it's a diverse audience. It's not all of one or another. It's everyday regular folks who are now embedded in this story. What has been the reaction of people to you when talking about this work?
When you say the reaction to me.
No, I'm sorry, not to you. What has been the reaction of people? Have they had a chance to talk to you and let you know how they feel about what they've witnessed? Have they, just comments and things of that nature?
Oh, absolutely. People are gutted. People are gutted, and they are shocked, stunned, and amazed at how much they feel a part of it and how real it feels, and how incredible each and every artist that come onto that stage are, and how we collectively as an ensemble tell the story. They feel like there's not one person I've talked to that didn't say I felt like I was like in it. I was fully immersed. So I think Anthony's the idea of it being this living like museum, and like you're like really sitting in the history. And I think that the other thing that people really say is that what saddens them is that it is so similar to what's happening right now.
That's the other thing too. There's a lot, as we have said a few times today, a lot going on in our country, not just the world, but specifically where we live, with deportation madness, just governmental misconduct, a war in Iran that is suspect at best, and I'm being kind with sus. Just a lot going on, and knowing that there is another side to this, and there's another place, and it's going to be okay, and believing it are now, it's hard. It's hard. So I appreciate what Collaboraction is doing, and to be able to give people an opportunity to, one, escape this madness, and be able to look at history from a real starting point. Like the tape got broke there with that young man's death, unfortunately. Speaking of collaboration, there's a lot of stuff that you guys have going, including and Anthony made sure to remind me that at some point in my life I did poetry for a living. You guys are doing. You got a new space now, by the way. Wait a minute, hold fast. Let me back up. Talk to me about the new space.
Sure. The new space in Humboldt Park, right off the 606 on Kimball. And, it's been a labor of love, over a year in the making. We over 2 years in the search, and we came upon the Kimball Arts Center, and it felt like a pretty good fit, and that we could have enough square footage, and build from the ground up. We are part of an arts and creative ecosystem in that building. And so the amazing part is that most of the tenants are out of there, at like 5 or 6 p.m. And it feels like the building is ours after a certain hour.
Nice.
And so, we invested and had a lot of support from, funders and individual donors, and got it built. And so it's been a collective willing of power and might and making it happen. There were some hurdles. There were some hoops, and like Chicago, they make you work for it.
Yeah,
so
buddy.
We did, and we opened softly towards the in the fall of 25, and just kind of got our bearings, kind of figured things out. We have a bar, we have a 49 seat, or a little bit more depending on how we configure the chairs and the tables and the high tops. But we have a nice size bar, lounge, cabaret space, and then we have a black box theater that can seat about 100 people. So
Nice.
We are fully ADA compliant. It is, a welcoming space for everybody. We call it the House of Belonging because, yes, everybody who, aligns with this mission of knowledge, empathy, dialogue, and action, bringing people together, and using theater as a platform to do that. We have been known to take theater into communities that are lacking access to the arts, and we continue to do that in that space. It's more of a centralized hub now, and we're still going to stay on mission with elevating under listened to, underheard voices, and allowing them to tell their own stories. And we know the power of storytelling, so we're going to continue to do that. I'm very proud of not only our artistic excellence with our main stage productions like Trial in the Delta, 3-time Emmy award winning production for the lost story of Emmett Till, and then our community work, very community driven pieces. We have a thriving youth program, and those youth, they go through a 10-week summer intensive. It's fully paid. We treat the arts as a job, so we're doing workforce development.
Nice.
They get high-profile performance opportunities all across Chicago, from Lollapalooza to Sundays on State to Navy Pier, and our galas. And we even have people who have seen our kids and then request for them to perform at their events. And
Nice.
So
That's what's up.
we give them the real, professional development as well as personal development that they need. And then they continue throughout the year. So we now have a space where they can develop their own curatorial instincts. They have, once a month open mics, for our teenagers who are in high school.
That's right.
And then when they graduate out of the program, we have a secondary program called the Luminaries. So the light is our high schoolers, and the luminaries are the the kids who have gone into college and kind of aged out of the high school program. So we want to keep that going, that support and that development artistically. And then, our community we're there for them as well. We have an initiative called You Belong Here, and that is where we offer technical and production support for artists who are maybe new, developing pieces for the first time, or people who we may know who want to try something new, something different, something that they haven't fully developed, but need a space in which to do that. We're also an event space, so we're able to align or co-produce with people who, we did something with Binky and Max recently.
That's my guy, and that's my guy.
Called
Those
The
are my
Function.
guys.
We did something with Brian Babylon.
That's my guy.
We're going to
That's our
continue to
guy.
do things with them. That's right.
That's our guy.
And we have an improv school, bilingual improv. They're there weekly. They teach classes in improv, and then they do a showcase. And so we're here for the community. I implore anybody who's maybe listening or hear this, go to our website, collaboraction.org, and you can, get in touch with us. If you have an idea for You Belong Here, if you have an idea for an event that you might want to put on in our space, a cultural event, and listen, if you're mission aligned, we're going to give you a shot, probably, most
For sure.
likely.
More than likely.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Were you going to say something, Anthony?
I was going to mention Max Thomas and Binky because I knew you would get excited.
My guys,
And
man.
their variety show is called The Function
Of course it
with
is.
a K.
I'm sure.
And
There's little doubt that they called it that, those
yeah,
two
yeah. So they'll be coming back in May.
rapscallions. Those are my guys, man. I am so glad that this happened today. You know what, NK, I'm doing some production. They can't see you, so there you go. There she is.
Hey.
And she can't see you because the camera.
I was trying to find the right time to butt in, and sometimes it's never the right time. But you talked about the weight of the role that actors have to carry, and there may not be a heavier lift than this role that NK is doing. But
I can't agree more.
and she is giving herself to the role and to the audience because she's she really feels it. But what she's doing it's a spiritual alchemy, and I could tell you that Chris Benson, who wrote the book with Mamie and maybe knows her about as well as anybody not in her immediate family, has raved to me about he feels it. He feels Mamie when he sees NK do this role. And so I just, it's something that really shouldn't be missed. If you care about this story and you want to understand Mamie better and you want to understand the brilliance that she had, not just the courage and the strength, but just the sheer genius to put us into a trajectory that was way better than what it was without her. You have a chance to see NK Gutiérrez bring this to life on the stage. It's really something special, and we hope this is not an easy show, but the purpose here is so great that sometimes it helps. But you can never underestimate the impact on the actors because this is not something you can put down. And so NK, you're just totally blown away and impressed by how you carry this role and how you've become the Mamie of our cast and our team.
When you get that Jeff, you make sure you hold it over your head now. It's coming.
Thank you so much for that acknowledgement, Anthony.
Listen, I appreciate the three of you being on today. Thank you so much for being on. Folks, Trial in the Delta, the murder of Emmett Till. It has been extended until March 15th, correct?
Yes.
7 shows. 7 shows remain. So
Well,
you can even
let's
come
go.
tonight. You can walk up to the door and buy tickets,
Well-
or you can buy tickets online.
Look, I am encouraging everybody get to know NK Gutiérrez, man. Y'all better get to know NK.
Yeah. Can I just mention one night?
Yes, as long as it
Okay.
doesn't involve money.
March 12th.
That's a good night.
March 12th, we have an event called The Blackout.
Yes.
And it's catered to our Black audience members who may want to experience this in the comfort of a community driven space. And so we're trying to make that space, specifically. I mean, we're not exclusionary. However, we are trying to hold space for those conversations and for just the feeling. You know how
Yeah.
you noticed like right now the conversation about Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo and how they went to the BAFTAs and how they were received,
Yeah.
and then they turned around and they were at the NAACP Awards, and it just felt more like a more welcoming situation.
Exactly.
And I think that this was something that kind of started around the beginning of the pandemic, these blackout nights in the theater space. And so we wanted to do that for Mamie and to celebrate her for Women's History Month, but also to hold space for our Black community members too, to visit this story, the heaviness of it, the weight of it, in a welcoming space. So we're going to do food and drink. We're going to have conversation with Christopher Benson from the Till Institute, in conversation with Darcel Rocket from Chicago Tribune. We're going to have all Black everything. So come on through.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you guys for being on the show. I really, really appreciate it. And anytime, doors always open for collaboration. You know that.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Right on. Thank you, man. Always good seeing you, Anthony. And Kay,
Thank you for having me.
I'm gonna body slam this computer for making that noise every 5 seconds.
I can't hear it.
Good. Thank goodness you can. I really appreciate you being on, and thank you guys for coming down today. I really appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you at the show.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
It's WLPN-LP, Chicago 105.5 FM, Lumpy Radio. It's news from the service interest, the radio show. We're a little bit behind, but we'll be back with James Brown Song of the Day right after these words.
There's nothing like the soothing sounds of a coffee shop.